couple quick checks. Make sure this mic is actually connected to the right setting. I don't want to be talking. You guys can't actually hear me. That would be tragic, but it looks like we're good on that front. So again, welcome back to Money Mondays. I forgot what installment this is of Money Mondays, but it doesn't matter. We just do them on Mondays. We like to talk shop. We like to talk money. For those of you that are catching this on the replay gang or jumping in this late, we had a great subscriber Sunday yesterday. That's what I think, right? You guys may not have enjoyed it, but I remember laughing quite a bit. So that's always a good indication of a good subscriber Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy that. I hope you guys actually get a chance to stay tuned to a bunch more of our projects. That is sometimes the most fun thing that we get to do, just because there's back and forth, an actual back and forth, not just me talking and recording into webcam so you guys to view at your leisure. Not that I don't support at your leisure, right? Not that I don't support at your leisure. But again, the continued support is, what it's all about. We hit 5,000 subscribers, which was a milestone that we were struggling for. I don't want to say struggling, but impatiently waiting to hit. That's on me. That's my issue, right? So again, Money Mondays. We're here to talk shop. We're here to talk money. And if for those of you that got sent this, or at least checked out the alert earlier, you can see the topic. We were going to talk about paternity fraud, right? Paternity fraud, yay, yay. But I thought it was a little heavy, right? I thought it was a little heavy, and my spirit was like, And I came across this other video that I was going on, right? Right? Yeah, come on, I appreciate you. I came across this video and that I wanted to react to, and it was based on another thing. You know how when you have conversations with people and they say, "Hey, I read an article," or worse yet, I saw a TikTok, and then they base the next part of what they're saying on that TikTok that they saw. And then somehow we're supposed to look at that and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. What you're saying makes sense. No, it doesn't. That's not how a lot of this actually works. So what I saw was very simple. She was saying that, hey, imagine, or if you can, imagine that if you move in with your man and, you guys are, going 50-50, you might actually end up paying more money. And she said, yeah, I saw a TikTok that saw a woman that broke down her finances. She said she was a spreadsheet girly. She broke it down. I remember coming across that. And I like math. I like breakdowns. And I may not be the most verbose one with an Excel spreadsheet. There's actually competitions where people use those. That's not me. But I said, this is interesting, right? I said, this is very interesting. She broke down, and one of the big categories that she looked at was food. How she would spend something like $300 on food, but with her boyfriend, he eats so much massively. Now it's like $800. Like $800. That's kind of like a family of four. But again, it's that person's TikTok. It's their content, so they put it out there. So I want you to just follow. Someone made a TikTok saying, life is more expensive. I spend more money when I'm with my man, when I live with him. When I don't live with him, it's cheaper. Then someone else took that and they ran with it. And they said, okay, this must be true. Let me now see what more I can say about this. And then based an entire live stream based on that, saying that, yo, don't move with a man. It's more expensive. You're not really saving money. He's not really doing you any favors. He's not doing anything good for you. So what would be the point? Why continue to do it? And I stopped. And I thought that, have we forgot that people come online and they lie? Have we forgotten that thing right there? People will say whatever they want to say, or it could be very well that she's telling truth, but it's her lived experience. It's her anecdotal experience. And then now we think this is the real deal. We suppose, okay, yeah, it doesn't make sense. So why do, all right, and I got super disappointed, and the creator was black, right, that was talking about this. Had a really good production with her podcast. I'll give her that. But I got disappointed because it costs you nothing to do a little bit of research. It costs you nothing to be curious, right? It's free. Curiosity is free. Manners are free. Asking is free, right? So I said, let me do the math. Let me look at some of these things on my own. Already I understand that what the data says, that married couples tend to have a higher net worth, and not by a little. The difference tends to be something like $460,000 difference between a single Black person or traditionally the Black community versus a married couple. It's a huge difference. We get better tax breaks. If anyone that ever done your own taxes or familiar with the tax code, there's so many different things, so many different bonuses that you get because you're married. It doesn't say that, oh, you and your spouse no, you're married, so you get a bigger deduction. You want to sell your house that, inflated in price recently. The price of the home, you make a profit of $500K. Single, you need $250,000 of those, goes right to capital gains tax. You're married, that's it. There are advantages built into society saying it's better for you to be coupled up. There's a singles tax that we explored a long time ago. Not that long ago, maybe 2-3 years. It was making the round saying, yeah, it's more expensive to be single. Things cost more. And I give you a simple example. And this, again, required very, 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 very little actual effort. Out there was going on. Very little effort. You and I we're shacking up. You live with me, I'm living with you, whichever one you want to swing it. Do we both have Netflix accounts? Oh, probably not, right? Probably not. Hulu, Disney. No, we just have different profiles. That cost is reduced. Okay, I had a cost of $2,500, $2,600, $4,000 for my own apartment. That cost is gone. Now we look at your cost and we split that. And we're making the assumption of 50-50. We're making the assumption 50-50, even though we've gotten so far off the beaten path. Remember when 50-50 used to be talking about if what you're bringing and you're bringing together were 100. And then slowly we subsumed that to saying, well, no, it's about effort. It was about putting in effort. Then we went from 50-50 and said, no, it's 100-100. You got to put in your best. You're all your best, and I put in all my best. Then we had takes with saying, well, there's some days where I can give 90, you give 10, and this way we're still at 100. Ha ha ha, kiki, ha ha ha. Then somehow the conversation invariably turned about, yo, I put in, if I'm paying 50% of the bills and you're paying 50% of the bills, we split it down the middle. But then it said, what about the other cost? The mental load, right? The household labor. I'm doing a larger share of that, and I'm still splitting those bills. But then we went further into the weeds and said, we can't split pregnancy. We can't split labor. We can't split. Okay. Right. And we can get into the minutia. We can get into the weeds of these conversations. We're having different types of conversations masquerading as having an actual one. 50-50, right? Dante was about us doing the best together. One person together. We're better together. What does that African proverb say? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go farther, go together. Obviously. There's times when I'm going to flag, I'm going to run out of steam, I'm going to slow down, and you're there to pick up the pace, to pick up the pieces and say, oh yeah, this is where you're a little weak. I got you. That was what we were supposed to be striving for. But as we became more and more individualistic and more antagonistic at the same time, I started saying, well, my effort should be counted more. You don't appreciate what I do, so we need to sit there and highlight it. So now we have something like the mental load. You don't like to think? Thinking is heavy? How? It's so heavy thing. I got to make the appointments. Okay. Now we understand something, you can offload some of your issues, some of the things. You actually don't have to be the champion of this. You don't have to be the chief of making appointments, of making this. Men and women are different. Sometimes you say, hey, give me a task. What do you need me to take care of? There used to be things we called honey-do list. Hey, here's the things I need you to do, honey. I got it. Because the things that you focus on, the minutia, you harp on these things, I don't see that. I see big picture. I'm thinking about how long the roof's got, how long the boiler's got. I'm thinking about big ticket items. Can we absorb these? And you're saying, yo, you didn't pick up the trash. Oh, I didn't notice. I'll get right to it. But now I have the mental load of having to tell you to do these things that you should just already know. Like I'm fond of saying here. Yeah, it became competition. When we talk about 50-50 in relationships in terms of bills, Typically, it's the man handling the larger things. His salary is usually covering more of, say, the rent or the mortgage, and then you covering the other things. Especially if there's a salary discrepancy. But we called it 50-50 because we're all living in the same house. This is the 50% I'm responsible for. That's the half you're responsible for. That's how it's better together. Sometimes your half is groceries and maybe a utility. Maybe his half is the car notes and, say, the rent or the mortgage. And you both look at each other and say, teamwork makes the dream work. But when we want to get out math, and listen, I love math. Hey, I know we're in America. I know we don't love math, but I love math. And the math is going to show you the truth of it instead of the feeling part of it. The feeling part of it says, yeah, don't move with a man. He's not doing you a favor. It's more expensive when you move in a man. Even though you historically can see the same thing. Even though all the other data, even anecdotal, tells you, why is it more expensive for a man when he's in a relationship? Dating's more expensive. He takes on more of your cost. But somehow we forget about all those things. We forget that somehow for some of you pretty women, at some point in your life, outside was free or it was subsidized. That's never happened to men. I've never been out and someone said, oh, buy that man a drink. Get that man a drink. It's never happened. I'm about to pay for them. Oh, the meal's been taken care of and there's a group of women nearby just wait. That's never happened. Outside costs money. That's why sometimes the men, they got to get on their grind. They stay away. They get isolated. They go in a cave and meditate. We know these things anecdotally in our culture, but for some reason, when it comes down to denigrating men and making them seem like they don't have a place or they're useless, then we just have these new sayings. So again, we get to break it down. We get to look at data, and we love, again, we love data. It's going to be our best friend here. We get to take a look and say, does this actually happen? Does this actually make sense? Rather than pretending like, yeah, it does. All right, so let's take a look. Right, we've got the breakdown. We've got the chart looking exactly and saying where this money is being spent and how it actually, this is going to be the most fundamental way where we can debunk this, where we can look at this and say, yeah, this actually doesn't work. This is not true. Right? It could be 60-40, yeah, 70-30. It worked for houses. That became the truth of things. However it worked for you guys, it worked for you guys. Nothing else really mattered. Nothing else really mattered. What you did in your house versus what we did 2 houses down did not matter. My woman, she doesn't work. Doesn't work. Yours, she has to work. We make the same amount. She coupons like a mug. It just worked. That's all we cared about. But now I put the phone in your face and someone is telling you a real man pays all the bills. Oh, you're not a real man if you don't give her a $300K allowance. And we look at that and we said, yeah. We said, oh yeah, that makes sense. Let me adopt this into now my persona. Let me adopt this into how I go about dating, how I look at people, how I try to determine whether or not any of these people are decent matches to me. And then we look and say, how come it doesn't work? Because we don't look at math. We don't look at data and says the people that can afford to do the things that you say you need a real man to do, it's in small amount. It's a small infinitesimal amount of men that can actually make some of the things happen. But, you do you, right? You do you. Let's break this down, right? We got living alone. We got living with a partner, and then we got the per person savings. Now, remember, this is strictly 50-50. This is straight up 50-50. We're just splitting it right down to half, which we already talked about. Probably isn't what's really happening with a lot of couples, a lot of relationships, right? We can all attest to that. It's probably not what's going to happen. And listen, and I want to be fair. Sometimes it's the woman paying the majority shares, paying the lion's share. That happens. I don't want to make it seem like this is just a women can't afford. No, I've seen plenty of that happen. So housing, right? And this is before, so we qualify this. This is data from Bureau of Labor Statistics. This isn't easy plug some stuff in and said, aha, I'll prove a point. I'm not making a spreadsheet and then passing it off as real data that should be used to interpret for the wider masses. This is why we keep stats. This is why we have plenty of data out here. So governments, corporations look and read this data and say, how can I read the tea leaves? How can I now determine how I can make more money off you guys? So look, Housing on average is saying $1,700 a month. And I know you're talking, not where I live, easy, not where I live. I get it, right? This is across, right? This is the national average. Utilities, $400, groceries, $450. I personally probably eat closer to $300, but I get it. Some of you exclusively like Whole Foods. Fine. Fine, that's fine, right? Internet, $70. I don't have 70. Mine is $90. But I like that AT&T fiber. I like it fast, right? I like to be able to stream with you guys. So I need it fast, right? Transportation, $950. That's a bit much, but on average, what we're looking at $700, give or take, for right now with the average car loan people are getting now. So $700, but let's include insurance. We're right there. We're at $900. None of this is beyond the pale. Healthcare, $500. Entertainment, $250. That's probably on the low end. That's probably really on the low end, right? Other households expensive, $400. Total monthly, $47.20. Annually, $56.64. This is just for you. This is the price for you to live. Let's understand that this says nothing about you savings. It says nothing about you investing. It says nothing about 401ks. It says nothing about our Roths. It's nothing about that. Putting money away for your savings account, nothing. This is just the cost for you to function. It's cost for you to function in the United States. And we can look and say, this is on average. Some people spend a lot more on, say, eating out. Some people spend a lot more just on entertainment. But we get it. We're just using this for, this is what the national average is saying. So if you party a lot more, you party a lot more. Good for you. Right? You got a better internet than that. Good for you. You got a better phone plan, a data plan, right? All that is now something that, taxed at a little higher. We know most people don't have a budget where they're setting for $4,700 a month. Most people are going through whatever they make a month. They live in paycheck to paycheck, and it's shifting. It's not even full month to full month. It's just kind of overlapping. So this is just the numbers, right? We can be dispassionate about numbers. Now you and your partner laying up. You got a bigger place, $2,200 per month. Utilities, of course, that load is bigger. Your place is bigger. $550. Groceries, $750. Right? Okay. Right. That's a jump. $750, but it's not double. Right? It's not double. For those who've ever lived with someone, you tend to adopt some of their eating habits, or the healthier person tries to foist some of these things on them. Now you're talking about super greens. Now you got to eat what they eat. And you're like, I guess. Right? I guess. It's not as if he's like, I'm going to go and do my shopping on the side, and then you do your shopping on the side. No, you might do it together. Okay, this is the list. Especially if one person's primarily cooking, this is what we're making. I know you want your steak, but you got to eat your veggies too. And you're like, terrible. Transportation. Now we're at $1,700. 2 cars in the household, 2 insurances. Okay, we'll give you that. Healthcare, it just doubles, right? You guys aren't, let's say you guys aren't even married, but you guys just living together. So your cost, that's still the same. Entertainment, $400. Now you guys are going out a little bit more. Okay, but the same Netflix, now you can slash the cost. You don't need an account. I don't need an account. We're borrowing someone else's login anyway, right? They kind of keep updating the household anyway. And other household expenses, $600. So our budget went from $47.20 to $72.70. $87,000 a year, but per person, right? Now we get to compare, apples to apples. You went from your housing costs being $1,700. Now, personally, you're saving $600. That's a win. You went from paying your household utilities for $400 by yourself. Now it's $275 per person. $125. That's also a win. Groceries, you're paying less, another $75 less. Internet, $35 less. You're still getting that sweet speed, half the price now. Transportation, you went down $100. Healthcare is still your healthcare. Entertainment, you save $50. Other household expenses, you save $100. So per month now you're saving, what the cost per month to do this is $36.35. On your own is $47.20. Right? So $47.20. On your own, you're spending $56. Together with someone else is $43. Per year, you're saving $13,000. Give or take $13,000. That's what you're saving. That you could put away somewhere. That you could say, okay, yeah, this can go into some sort of investment. That's a decent amount for you to put away for investments. And this is possible because you guys are together. And maybe you say, yo, we're not going to do this investing, right? Maybe we're not going to do this investing. What we're going to do right now is put this down towards together. We put this money away so we can save to buy a house. We need a down payment. Well, you saved 13,000. He saved 13,000. Now you got 26 for down payment. Let's say you guys want to be true believers and put down 20%. You got to rock out for a couple of years, and then there's the money right there saved. All just because you went from living by yourself to with someone. How long would it have took you to save that 13,000 on your own over time to be able to put down money? 20% for a house, average cost being $400,000. You need 80. You need 80 plus reserve. We'll leave the reserves out for now, right? For simple math, you need 80. How long is that supposed to take you? We're looking and saying, oh no, it's just easier single. It ain't. It ain't. Now, this is of course being the real deal. We're ignoring some very factual things that will happen regardless of your life, regardless of where you are in your life. This is going to happen. You're going to have an emergency. Oh God! Eyes going to blow. Someone's going to get sick. There's a medical debt, something. This has nothing about you have your own student loans. Maybe you have student loans, he doesn't. Maybe he does, you don't. Other factors come into the case. We're just saying there's more and more drain on your savings, on your income. And we're still here thinking, oh, is it better if I'm single? Because it fits this narrative that it feels good when you see it online. Now, even if you say, and remember, we're just talking 50-50 right down the line. We're not talking about, yeah, he'll probably pay for more of these things. He'll probably pay maybe 70% of them, maybe 80, depending where you are. Especially when you look at how a lot of relationships go, you know, there's usually a bit of an age gap where, okay, the man has a little more time in the field to make some more money. Maybe he's in a field that pays him more money, so he doesn't mind taking on the lion's share. You get a savings boost. You get time just to sit back and say, I can breathe. At peace of mind, we can't even create a table and say what that is worth. So it's very easy. It's very simple for us to go back and just say, yeah, that man is bad. That man is bad. Men are bad. It sucks. Don't rock out with them because it's going to cost you more money. Again, it sounds good, right? A lot of that sounds really good, but it doesn't really move the needle at any bit. Not even an iota. So we can go take a look at some of the things that we currently hear, we see in the conversation, right? The singles tax audit. Living loan may feel independent, but it's more expensive. There's a price for that independence. Right? Living loan is empowerment. Splitting a life with a man is financial risk. Everything's risk, right? But the data says this is the risk and this is the reward. You get it right, then you have an easier, more comfortable life financially. You have a chance to actually create that quote unquote generational thing to pass down, be it a house, be it a shared savings account, be it a shared insurance plan. You have the ability to actually pass something down. You just ignoring the real deal because, oh, TikTok told you to. Hey, TikTok told you to, and then you pass it along like it was the gospel. Like all of this was just accurate. And it should be incumbent upon us to sometimes stop and say, yo, what are we talking about? Does this actually make any sense? Right? We've got another breakdown of just what it, you know, depending what data set you pull from. But you get the ability to save something from $10,000 to $16,000 a year when you were someone, and we're talking 50-50. We're talking 50-50. That's it. Right? Not if you guys can even come down together and just say, yo, we can actually create a budget for the both of us would actually make sense. Now we have an ability to push this thing even farther. Listen, most things in life is going to be easier together. It's just what it is. Most things are going to be easier together. The data supports that. Our feelings online may say otherwise. But at a certain point in time, we get to say, yo, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter how you feel about this. This is just what it actually is. Now, this is not to shit on anyone. It's not to make anyone feel bad about where they are financially. This is just the name of the game. What we want to do is always have an ability to say, well, what is actually factually happening here? Rather than just talking the talk and making sure things sound good and things feel good. Oh, we want to be able to look and say, what is actually happening here? What does the data support? This way we can make actually informed decisions, because I guarantee you everyone else around you is doing the very same thing. By around you, I mean corporations. By around you, I mean companies. By around you, I mean, healthcare. They're deciding what makes sense. Actuary territory thing. A lot of us that are sitting here racing towards retirement, putting away every dime, every dollar, will die soon after retirement. It happens all the time. We have to have a better, more grounded look at what we're doing. You want to go alone, you can make it. It's going to take you some time to get where you need to be financially. And then at that point in time, have you taken care of yourself? What was the cost for you to maintain this level of autonomy? Everything has a cost. Now, if you don't want to do the marriage thing, you don't want to do the couple up thing, we totally understand that over here. You just have to be cognizant of where you need to set your budget. You need to understand how much you're spending and what the actual cost of what you're trying to do is. Live below your means for as long as possible. Some of us, if we don't have that salary, we don't have that extra streams of income, what ends up happening, we don't have the ability to have the nice things, the Porsche 911. Forget about it, it's gone, right? I don't know how this, I can't do it, so it became a flex. Yeah. I have no idea. Cool, right? I have this conversation. I had this conversation very recently, or often have with my mom, about what's the point of being rich if your family can't enjoy it, if the people around you don't benefit from an increased sort of lifestyle, or at the very least, stability. Removing the idea of I can't pay, fill in the blank, relieves a lot of stress from you. You probably don't even know what you like. You probably don't know what you like because you're so stressed about money. When you're worried about, can I make rent? Or when it's time to go grocery shopping and you have to be very cognizant of the price per pound of this or this, how that may have changed, how that may have went up. That type of stress weighs on you. Weighs on your soul, weighs on your heart, weighs on your spirit. It weighs you down, so you don't really get a chance to get into that creative bag to see what you really enjoy in life. Sure. I like stuff. I like jazz, right? I like this. Do you? Like, when you are not stressed, what do you actually enjoy doing? It's hard not to be stressed when money is such an issue. We can have the conversations about creating multiple streams of income. That could be a worthy separate stream. But here, I just wanted to take some time to debunk one of the things that is making the rounds right now on Al Gore, or Beyonce's internet. What we're talking about here has to make dollars and cents. Otherwise, what are we attempting to do? We tell people these things because it feels good. And what we're becoming cognizant, what we're becoming just aware of, scarily aware of, is that people are not thinking for themselves or doing research for themselves to find out any of these truisms. You adopt what someone told you because it sounds good, it fits this narrative right here that I don't need men. Then you're not paying attention to the rest of what your finances are saying, unless someone popular told you to do that. The last time I checked, they're not telling you save that. They tell you to spend that. You find yourself in this place, and sometimes it's down the line. You've walked down this path, and now you're trying to walk things back. Then things get difficult. I'm ready to go to just do what is myself. Hearing serious, money exclusively in your hands. Yeah, I get that. If you want to do it by your own, as long as you are completely aware of what you're signing up to do, that's fine. It's when you're being misled that is the problem. When people, some of these creators come on here and they specifically mislead you so you can buy into a certain narrative. Sometimes there's no real buy-in. The buy-in is trust. The last time you viewed my story, I made you feel good. Last time you viewed my reel, I made you feel good. I told you something that was clever. It was a quip. Now you went about it repeating it. You'll be back. You'll be back. Your attention is valuable to me. You'll be back. And eventually, at some point in time, I'm going to directly separate you and your finances. This is the game. This is part of what we do online. First, I get you with envy. I get you with jealousy. I let you see, this is how I'm living. You don't see that it took me 2.5 years to do this thing that I'm saying I'm doing effortlessly. It's just a Wednesday. You see the highlight reel and you think that's got to be it. Oh, you need to get a man like me, and he does all these things. He don't do none of that. He didn't do any of that, right? He didn't do any of that without being prompted and without you guys actually saving. Say, I can do this. Hey, this is a special treat. You make the special treat seem like a regular thing, and then we, or SAS, we look at that and we say, that's got to be real. That's got to be real. You don't see some of these people that you end up following, complete scammers. Complete scammers. I think even in they had just had InvestFest in Atlanta, right? A lot of that stuff online, people are still trying to scam you, still trying to separate you from your money. Not saying there's not great information there. Apparently there was really great information there, but I'm gonna just, I want your attention, then I want your money. And the easiest way I can do is keep you separated, because ding, ding, ding. When women are coupled up, married, living with men, they spend less. They spend less. And I can't think of something worse for the economy than people to stop spending money. Every time the things get a little squirrely, get a little funny, they start talking about people are not spending money. Yeah, we're broke. What do you mean? And then they'll put the charts up. People aren't spending as much money as they did last Christmas. Black Friday isn't really as successful as it used to be. This day is what stores use to get back. No, people don't have the disposable income to do the things. Because stuff costs more money. We're not making enough. Inflation's the thing. Two, we're kind of separated. I'm paying rent over here. She's paying rent over there. We're all doing the same thing, just separately. It's definitely easier together when you have an actual healthy dynamic, not when you have something that later on is going to be sundered by 50-50, or she's going to get all this and you're not going to be able to see the kids. That's a different story, right? That's a little more nihilistic sort of view, but it is better together, just so we can debunk that nonsense. So next time you come across it, you can be like, oh no, Easy talked about this. He showed us the graphs, he showed us the tables, and he encouraged us to go look for ourselves, right? To go look for ourselves. The biggest consumers are women, and they get a lot of money from men. When that ends, well, people get better with money, right? Biggest consumers, yeah, you can say are women. The largest holders of debt, men, right? We make a little bit more money, so we hold more debt. More of us, the richer you are, the more likely you are to hold balances on your credit card every month. Those of you that are not looked favorably on by the credit bureaus, or the credit or larger companies, they call us deadbeats. So if you pay your credit cards in full every month, you're a deadbeat. Or there was some derogatory term they used from that. But listen, it's just easier when we're all kind of doing the thing together, right? We know when you're in a healthy sort of dynamic, there are like, we call it bumper guards. Like if you're going to play, you're going to bowl. You put up, when kids are going to bowl, you put up the guards. You can go nuts within these guards. That's a budget, right? That's a budget. You're more likely, if you have a disciplined partner, you're more likely to live within that. When you're, often when you don't feel good, one of the easiest things that we've coined the terms, right? You can just go shop. You just feel good. You'll feel better about yourself. Retail therapy is the thing. We coined it to actually make you think that this actually helps. Meanwhile, the thing crying is your wallet, is your account. When you go back and swipe it, and it has that little dash in front of it, a negative, and it says overdraft. How good do you feel about all that stuff that you have in your pocket now? And lastly, we end on this, right? A quick Money Mondays. What you end up seeing a lot of these influencers online, what they'll do is they'll do these shops, they'll do these hauls. They'll show it, they'll film it, they'll post it, and then the next day they're returning all the items. You just don't see the returning part. Sometimes you get people that have these little, hey, I just saw this is such person returning all these things. Or you see someone that works at one of these retail shops say it happens all the time. It happens all the time. But you're left with a half truth and you think, damn, that person does it. That makes them feel good. I want to feel good. I'm going to spend. If I could buy a Porsche GT3 today and return it in a week, no loss, yeah, I'd film me driving around town, calling all of you poors, brokies, and you guys don't got it. You should buy my course. Listen to what I got to say. You see my subscriber count go through the roof. And I look at you like, y'all goofy. I returned the thing already. Every time we talk about, oh, it's in the shop. You know how Porsches are. Or I have the next thing that I'm shitting out. I'm just lying to you because I want you to feel bad, but I want you to feel good when you see me like I'm the Messiah. I've got the answers for you. Those to me is all about the stage. I'm all about the lies. I'm all about the lies. The people that have it are typically kind of quiet about it. They don't need you to see it because they're validation. I don't need you to see it. I have this thing for a short amount of time, so I definitely need you to see it. I need you to see me in it. I need to be seen in the thing. People have just like, yeah, I didn't drive the car today because I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't have anywhere to go. So there was no point in me making all this. Yeah, you know, I've got nice things. I don't have anywhere to go now. I had to do a lot of work today. Outside of going to get my hair, I'm not showing you. It's not showing it off for what? What would be the purpose? Now, if I had a course to sell, right? And I didn't have scruples, I didn't have people in my life that I love, I have to answer to, I have to look in the eye. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, we just cheat. We just lie. That's the formula. I just wouldn't want the rest of us to get caught up.